Sven.
You will engage.
Ryan Mitchell checked his watch for the third time in as many minutes. 7:15. His blind date was 15 minutes late, which was perfect. It gave him the excuse he needed to leave after 5 minutes of polite conversation and never look back. At 34, Ryan had been on exactly 17 blind dates in the past year, each one arranged by well-meaning friends, family members, or business associates who couldn't understand why a successful CEO was still single. Each date had been the same: a polished woman with an impressive resume who talked about her career accomplishments, her travel experiences, her carefully curated life. Pleasant conversations that felt like job interviews, connections that never quite connected. This was it. His last blind date. After tonight, he was done. He'd tell everyone to stop setting him up, stop trying to fix something that maybe didn't need fixing. Maybe he was meant to be alone. Maybe that was okay. The carnival was an odd choice for a first meeting. Ryan's assistant had made the arrangements based on his date's request. He'd expected dinner at an upscale restaurant, the usual first date territory. Instead, he stood near the entrance of the Riverside Summer Fair, surrounded by the smell of fried dough and the sound of carousel music, feeling overdressed in his white dress shirt and black tie. He was about to text his assistant that he was leaving when he heard her. Laughter. Pure, uninhibited laughter that cut through the carnival noise like a bell. He turned and saw her rushing toward him, her blonde hair pulled up in a messy bun, wearing a yellow sundress with tiny flowers and a light blue cardigan. She was holding an enormous cloud of cotton candy, blue and impossibly fluffy, and she was laughing at herself. "I'm so sorry I'm late," she said breathlessly as she reached him. I know, terrible first impression. But I saw the cotton candy stand, and I couldn't help myself. I haven't had cotton candy in probably 15 years. Do you know how long 15 years is when you're talking about cotton candy? It's basically a lifetime. Ryan opened his mouth to deliver his prepared excuse, but nothing came out. He was too busy staring at her. Not because she was beautiful, though she was, in an unpolished, authentic way that made his chest feel tight, but because she was genuinely, completely, unself-consciously happy about cotton candy. "I'm Meredith," she said, shifting the cotton candy to offer her hand. "Meredith Walsh, and I promise I'm usually more professional than this, but carnivals make me regress to about age 7, so fair warning." "Ryan," he managed, shaking her hand. "Ryan Mitchell. Right, the CEO, my friend Amy told me. She said you were some big, important business guy who works too much and needs to learn how to have fun. Was that rude of me to say?" "That was rude. I have this problem where I say exactly what I'm thinking. My filter is broken. Always has been." Ryan found himself smiling despite his plan to be politely distant. "Your friend said that about me?" "Well, she said it nicer. She said you were successful and dedicated and needed someone who could make you laugh. But I translated it in my head. I'm a translator, by the way. Languages, not social cues. Obviously, I'm terrible at social cues." She held out the cotton candy. "Want some?" "It's way too much for one person. I think they gave me extra because I looked so excited." This was the moment. Ryan should make his excuse, thank her politely, and leave. Stick to the plan. 5 minutes maximum. Instead, he pulled off a piece of cotton candy and put it in his mouth. It dissolved instantly. Pure sugar and childhood memories he'd forgotten he had. "When's the last time you had cotton candy?" Meredith asked, watching him with bright eyes that seemed to see more than he was comfortable with. "I honestly can't remember." "That's tragic." "Come on, we're fixing that immediately. Tonight you're having all the carnival foods you've forgotten about. Corn dogs, funnel cake, those weird cheese fries that are definitely going to kill us but taste amazing. This is a carnival. We're required by law to make terrible food choices." "I had dinner plans," Ryan said, but it sounded weak even to his own ears. "Dinner plans? At a carnival?" Meredith laughed again, that same unguarded laugh that made something in his chest loosen. "Ryan, no offense, but you're wearing a tie to a county fair. You need help. Serious help. Lucky for you, I'm an expert at not taking life too seriously. It's actually my main skill. That and speaking 4 languages. But that's less useful at carnivals unless we run into some lost tourists." Before Ryan could form another excuse, Meredith had looped her arm through his and was pulling him toward the game booths, still clutching her cotton candy. And somehow, impossibly, Ryan let himself be pulled. "Okay, here's the plan," Meredith said as they walked. "We're going to play games, eat questionable food, and maybe ride the Ferris wheel if you're not afraid of heights." "Are you afraid of heights?" "Please don't be afraid of heights. The Ferris wheel is the best part." "I'm not afraid of heights." "Good. See, we're already compatible. Amy said you'd be stuffy and serious, but I think there's hope for you. You ate the cotton candy. That's a good sign." "Did Amy tell you anything nice about me?" Ryan asked, surprised to find he was genuinely curious. Meredith glanced at him, and for just a moment her expression softened. "She said you were kind, that you worked hard not because you loved money, but because you cared about the people who worked for you. That you'd built a company that treated people well, that you were loyal and honest and maybe a little lonely. Was that too honest? Sorry. Broken filter, remember?" Ryan felt exposed, seen in a way that should have made him uncomfortable. Instead, it felt like relief. "It's okay. What else did Amy tell you?" "That you'd probably try to leave after 5 minutes, Meredith said matter-of-factly. "She said you always do on blind dates. That you're convinced you're not going to connect with anyone, so you don't really try. She said I should talk a lot and make you laugh before you could escape. So I'm doing that. Is it working?" Ryan stopped walking. "She told you I was going to leave?" "Yep. I almost canceled, actually. Figured, why bother if he's already decided it won't work? But then I thought, maybe he just hasn't met the right person yet. Maybe he's been meeting the wrong people who make him feel like he has to be CEO Ryan instead of just Ryan. So I thought, what if I just showed up and was completely myself and saw what happened? Worst case, you leave after 5 minutes like you planned, and I get to enjoy carnival food alone. Best case, you forget to look at your watch and we have a good time." Ryan realized he hadn't looked at his watch since she'd arrived. It had been at least 20 minutes. "I'm supposed to be leaving right now," he said quietly. "I know." "Are you?" He looked at her, really looked at her, at the cotton candy melting in her hand, at the messy bun coming loose, at the genuine hope in her eyes that had nothing to do with his bank account or his title, and everything to do with the possibility that he might be someone interesting underneath the suit. "No," he said. "I'm not leaving." Meredith's smile could have lit up the entire carnival. "Good, because I'm terrible at carnival games and I need someone tall to win me a stuffed animal. It's required. You can't go to a carnival and not win a stuffed animal. Those are the rules." They spent the next 3 hours doing things Ryan hadn't done since he was a teenager. They played ring toss and balloon darts and that impossible basketball game with the bent hoops. Meredith provided running commentary on everything, making up stories about the other carnival goers, laughing at herself when she failed spectacularly at every game, cheering wildly when Ryan finally won her a small stuffed panda. "This is Gerald," she announced, hugging the panda. "He's going to live on my couch and judge all my life choices." "Thank you for Gerald, Ryan. He's perfect." They ate corn dogs and cheese fries and funnel cake, and Meredith was right. It was all terrible for them and absolutely delicious. She told him about her work translating documents for international companies, about growing up with a father who taught her that life was too short to be serious all the time, about learning languages because words fascinated her, the way different cultures express the same emotions in completely different ways. Like, "I love you," she said as they walked. In French, it's je t'aime, which is simple and beautiful. In Spanish, te amo or te quiero, and there's a difference between the two that's hard to explain. In Japanese, they don't even say it directly very often. They show it through actions. Isn't that interesting? The same feeling, infinite ways to express it. Ryan found himself telling her things he never shared on first dates. About the pressure of running a company his father had built. About feeling like he was always performing. Always being CEO Ryan instead of just Ryan. About how he'd been on so many dates that felt like auditions that he'd started to think may be real. Connection was something that happened to other people. "That's sad," Meredith said softly. "Connection happens when you stop performing. When you let someone see you, not the version of you that you think they want to see. Like right now, you've got funnel cake sugar on your tie, your shirt's untucked, and you look more relaxed than you probably have in months. That's real. That's you. Ryan looked down at his rumpled shirt, his sugar-dusted tie. A few hours ago, this would have horrified him. Now he just laughed. I have a board meeting tomorrow morning. They'll survive. Besides, now you have a story. Sorry I look disheveled. I was at a carnival winning stuffed pandas and eating my weight in fried dough. See? Much more interesting than I worked late. They rode the Ferris wheel as the sun set, the carnival lights beginning to twinkle against the darkening sky. At the top, Meredith pointed out the view of the river, the city skyline in the distance, the world spread out below them. This is my favorite part, she said quietly. When you're up high enough to see everything, all the little pieces that make up the whole picture. From down there, it's just chaos. From up here, it's beautiful. Is that a metaphor? Ryan asked. Maybe. Or maybe it's just nice to see things from a different perspective sometimes. To step out of the chaos and remember there's beauty in the bigger picture. When the ride ended and they stood by the carnival entrance where they'd met hours ago, Ryan didn't want the night to end. He felt lighter than he had in years, like he'd put down a weight he hadn't realized he was carrying. So, Meredith said, hugging Gerald the panda, did I successfully prevent you from leaving after 5 minutes? You did. Though I think you succeeded in the first 30 seconds when you showed up laughing about cotton candy. That's my secret weapon. Unbridled enthusiasm about small joys. Works every time. She paused, then added more seriously, I had a really good time tonight, Ryan. Like, a genuinely good time. Not a, well, that was pleasant first date time, but an I forgot to check my phone for 4 hours good time. I didn't bring my phone, Ryan admitted. I left it in my car. I never do that. See? Character growth. I'm an excellent influence. She hesitated, then asked, would you want to do this again? Not the carnival, obviously, but something. Maybe something that doesn't involve quite this much fried food. My stomach is going to hate me tomorrow. Ryan stepped closer. Tomorrow night, dinner, but somewhere casual. Somewhere we can just talk. Okay, but fair warning, I'm going to wear jeans, and I'm probably going to order dessert first, and I might tell terrible jokes. Still interested? Absolutely, Meredith smiled. Good, because Amy was right. You are kind, and funny when you let yourself be. And you deserve someone who makes you forget to be CEO Ryan and just lets you be Ryan. I'd like to be that person. If you'll let me. Ryan kissed her. Not because it was the right move or the expected gesture, but because in that moment, with carnival lights twinkling behind her and Gerald the panda clutched in her arms, he couldn't imagine not kissing her. When they pulled apart, Meredith's eyes were shining. Okay, that was really good. Like 9 out of 10. Maybe 9.5. Could be a 10 with practice. Is everything a joke to you? Ryan asked, but he was smiling. Not everything, just most things. Life's too short to be serious all the time. But this? She gestured between them. This I'm taking very seriously. You make me laugh too. They went on that second date, and a third. And by the 10th date, Ryan knew he was in love with the woman who'd shown up late to their first meeting with cotton candy and had somehow convinced him to believe in connection again. Meredith never tried to change him. She just reminded him that there was more to life than board meetings and quarterly reports. She taught him to laugh at himself, to find joy in small moments, to stop performing and start living. A year later, Ryan proposed at the same carnival, at the top of the same Ferris wheel. He'd arranged for them to stop at the peak, where he pulled out a ring and asked her to spend her life helping him remember how to have fun. Meredith said yes, then immediately asked if they could get funnel cake to celebrate. At their wedding, Ryan's best man told the story of how Ryan had planned to leave after 5 minutes but stayed for a lifetime. How sometimes the best things happen when we let go of our plans and let life surprise us. Years later, when their own children asked how they met, Meredith would always start with, well, I was late and I had cotton candy, and your father was wearing a tie to a carnival like a weirdo, and Ryan would add, and your mother laughed and I forgot to leave. Best decision I never made, because sometimes love doesn't come in the package we expect. Sometimes it shows up late with cotton candy and a broken filter and an enthusiasm for life that's contagious. Sometimes all it takes is one person brave enough to be completely themselves to give someone else permission to do the same. Ryan had spent a year going on dates as CEO Ryan, successful and polished and perfectly appropriate. It took Meredith 5 minutes to see through all of that and find the person underneath. That's not magic. That's just what happens when someone decides to see you instead of the version of you that you present to the world. When someone makes you laugh so hard you forget to guard your heart. When someone shows you that connection isn't about finding someone perfect, but about finding someone perfectly willing to be imperfect with you. The 5-minute plan became a lifetime, and Ryan never looked at his watch during important moments again. If this story reminded you that the best connections happen when we let down our guard, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below about a time someone surprised you by seeing the real you. Sometimes all we need is someone who makes us laugh and reminds us that life is meant to be lived, not just survived. Here's to cotton candy, carnival lights, and the courage to stay past the 5-minute mark.